So everyone's telling you about what to say to real estate clients, but what about the things that you shouldn't say to some of your real estate clients? You're dealing with clients every single day, and sometimes the way you say things can actually benefit you compared to shooting yourself in the foot. So that's what we'll be covering in today's video. The first thing I want to tell you about when dealing with clients, what not to say, is you shouldn't ask, you should order. And let me explain, because that might seem a bit off. Why should you give orders to your clients? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, instead of asking them, for example, how was their vacation, you should ask them, hey, tell me about your vacation. How was it? Tell me about your vacation. That's an order. You are telling them to give you more information about how that trip or how that vacation went, instead of being perceived as asking this question just for the sake of it and just because you feel obligated. And I'm pretty sure that you've met some people in the past in your life, or that you are surrounded in your life by some people that actually ask you questions like these that don't necessarily seem genuine. They are asking the question just for the sake of it and just to be looked as like this person who is interested and charismatic and really interested in you. Maybe they are actually interested in you, but sometimes it can actually do the opposite effect. I know for me, for sure, in my life, certain people at the gym or whatever, at coffee shops, that I know when they ask me questions like these, for example, how was your weekend? Like, I know they're just asking just because they don't really care, but they're just asking because to strike a conversation. But if someone asks me, tell me about your weekend, I'm really interested in learning more about what you did, whatever, right? Like, it's just more genuine and the person just wants to know the answer and it just comes off as more authentic. So that's one thing you want to make sure that you do when talking to your clients. Now, the second thing you want to avoid when talking to real estate clients is to offer them options. What I mean by this is, instead of rambling nervously when you ask a question about the different options that they could answer, just ask the question straight up and don't ramble after that. Just shut up after you ask your question. For example, when you ask your buyer, so what are you looking in a home? Is it a quiet neighborhood? Is it more like in the city? Do you have to be close this thing, that thing? Do you prefer more modern styles or whatever? Like, you're already giving options and that the client might not have thought about in the first place, and you might also influence his answers. It also just comes off as not professional because you're giving them possible options and you're trying to force things on them almost, and they didn't speak their mind yet. And by doing this, you're setting expectations as to what you would expect in an answer, because that will make them feel more secure with you. And then once you have their answers with their own words, you can then ask follow-up questions to better understand their needs. Now, the third thing you need to avoid when talking to a real estate client is to be what I call a convincer. And what a convincer is somebody that tries to convince you that you should do certain things or a specific thing. And for far too long in the industry of sales, real estate, the focus have been on how do I benefit myself over the client. And what I think you should do instead with your real estate clients when you talk to them and when you interact them, whether that be for the first time ever in a listing appointment, in a buyer's consultation, or just on a phone call, is to act like a consultant. And what a consultant does is understand the needs of the person in front of him, and then after that builds a solution tailored to that person, instead of trying to push something down someone's throat like most salespeople do. And because most people do that in the first place, that's why people don't necessarily like to be contacted on the phone by salespeople in general, or even by real estate agents. It's because they all have that perceived idea that someone in a suit will try to sell you something that you don't necessarily need. And the funny thing is, when you try to force something and convince the client in front of you that you are the real estate agent for them, then they'll sense it that you're not being genuine again. And instead, when you act as a consultant and you understand their needs, why exactly they want to sell, why exactly they want to buy, why is it that they want to get that property specifically, what is it about, and what's their dream, what's their projects, like what is it that doesn't fit their lifestyle right now with their current home. When you understand all of this, and then it just becomes obvious that you actually care and that you understand their situation and will be able to better serve them, compared to to all the other agents that just talked about themselves 24/7. So there you have it, guys. The 3 things you should avoid when talking to your real estate clients if you want to make a good impression, sell them, and make them happy with your service so that you can get referrals afterwards. So if you are a real estate agent and you want to be informed about the latest strategies on lead generation, marketing, sales, closings, and everything real estate to up-level your career and your business and increase your GCI, what I want you to do is to click the like button on this video and also subscribe, because I release 3 videos per week just like these, and we'll see you in the next one.